Hi, my name's Joe Miller, and over the past 5 years, I've helped hundreds of students apply to universities across Europe. In this video, I'm going to give you an insight into some generic strategies you can use when applying for postgraduate education. In this video, I'm going to give you some generic strategies that you can use when applying for postgraduate qualifications at London Business School. Now, it's important to note before we begin, London Business School does not currently have any undergraduate qualifications. So this video is targeted at students in their second or third year of an undergraduate degree looking to apply for a master's, either in management or finance, or it's looking for young professionals who are perhaps thinking about doing an experienced master's, like either an MPhil or an MBA. It may also come in use to more experienced professionals with perhaps even a decade of experience who are looking to return to university and do something like an EMBA. LBS offers those in both London and Dubai. In the most recent application cycle, all of my students were made offers at LBS, giving me a 100% success rate. Throughout these processes, these are the generic strategies that I think you'll find most useful. Number 1. Get in touch with LBS early. Throughout the application process, whichever course you're applying to, there are lots of opportunities for you to talk about how you've immersed yourself within the LBS environment or community. LBS actively look for people who have reached out to their admissions team, spoken to their recruiters, networked with alumni or current students, and gained that unique insider information about the university. One of the tips that I give to all of my students is go onto your course page on the LBS website and navigate to the events page. On here, you will see a list of all of the different in-person and online events that LBS offers. I have lots of international students who often say to me, but we're not in London, it's not feasible for us to fly and attend an event. You'll notice that LBS also offers a lot of events around the world in local cities. For example, one of my students this week attended an event at the Sheraton Hotel in Toronto that was hosted by LBS. Being able to name drop the person that you've met, being able to quote or cite elements of the conversation you've had is so advantageous to your application. And if anything goes wrong throughout the process, it gives you a point of contact on the inside within LBS that you can lean on. My second tip, and it builds on from the first, is send in your CV early. Now, please note, once you've sent in your CV to LBS, there's very little editing that you can do thereafter before you submit your actual application, because you don't want two CVs that contradict one another or look too different. However, if you send your CV into LBS early, there is a high chance that you're going to get feedback on it, and they'll give you a very good response. In my experience, there's one of about 5 different responses they'll give you, ranging from "we don't think you should apply" to "you should apply, but maybe in the future after you've corrected certain elements of your application," to "we strongly encourage an application from you." This gives you, and us if you're working with us, a really good insight into what you might need to improve in your application before applying. It also gives us an insight into any potential red flags that LBS might have identified and we therefore need to address in the application. Tip number 3, and this builds on from previous videos that I've made on the specific courses at LBS that you should apply to, and that is that you need to create a strong, career-focused identity. I find a lot of students who approach me are often too honest. For example, perhaps they've studied a non-financial subject, but they want to study the MFA at LBS to become an investment banker. And the first thing I often say to them is, think of LBS as a business. Their brand is developed on the fact that they have a very high employability track record for students graduating. The average salary of successful graduates is very high, and they go into very prestigious careers. And so if you say a sort of pie-in-the-sky dream, you know, I've never done investment banking before, but I want to study the MFA to become an investment banker, somebody in the admissions committee is probably going to see through that and see it as unrealistic and see you as the kind of candidate that might let down that LBS brand. Therefore, don't be overly honest. Instead, look at your profile and the internship experiences or the university experiences that you do have, and come up with a career goal that is realistic. That's the key word, that is realistic based on those. For example, if your previous internships have been at startups, but you want to work in management consultancy, don't build an MIM application around the idea of becoming a management consultant because you've never done it before, and somebody in the LBS team is going to see through that. Instead, build an application around wanting to be the project manager or the product owner at a startup, because that's far more substantiated with your profile. As I've alluded to in my more detailed videos on this, there is no one-size-fits-all rule for all. So if you do need specific support, please do get in touch with one of our subject experts here at the Profs so that we can advise you. My fourth tip is refrain from using colloquial phrases or irrelevant stories in your application. I think this is a tip that I really stress for North American applicants who are used to perhaps a university application process that is very different in the US to that we have here in the UK. In the UK, universities like LBS really want to see that you are an expert in your academic subject, you have the skills before you apply, and that your career goals are very well thought out. Instead of saying big, dreamy career goals, you want to be the president of the United States, or you want to be the CEO of an organization, or you want to be a really successful hedge fund manager. Instead, focus on the immediate career goal. I want to be a financial analyst on the TMT desk within this boutique investment bank. Or I want to be a business analyst at one of these management consultancy firms because they specialize in this specific sector. LBS cares far more about your realistic short-term career goal, what you're going to do in those 6 to 12 months after graduating, than it does care about your big 20 or 30-year dream. Moreover, when it comes to colloquial phrases, in the application to LBS, you're going to have lots of opportunities to talk about things like hobbies, interests, and community. Rather than saying something like, I've played tennis from a young age, or ever since I was 4, I learnt to ski. Instead say your achievements in that sport and then link them to LBS. For example, you might say, as a Canadian, I'm an avid skier and I've competed in this, and this competition. Therefore, I was pleasantly surprised to learn about the snow club at LBS, which this past year organised a snow trek that 500 students attended in Val Thorens. This kind of detail shows that you've researched the university, it shows that you're actually thinking about the school and you're linking your interests, your passions to their community. This is far more effective than making some colloquial phrase. My fifth and final generic strategy for LBS is give yourself sufficient time to prepare for their interview. As I've alluded to in previous videos, LBS offers quite a unique interview process. They will look at your application, they'll look at your career goals, and they will then find an alumni who works in your sector to interview you. This means that if you've said that you can do certain things on your application, like build a DCF or LBO model from scratch, the interviewer, who is likely to be an expert in that domain, maybe an associate at an investment bank or a managing consultant, they are going to be able to actually test you on that. They're going to know if you're lying or if you've made it up or if you're exaggerating. It's therefore really important to approach the LBS interview as if you would an interview at a company. A quick tip, when you do get told by LBS that you have an interview, there'll usually be a period of time before they tell you who the interviewer will be. Don't waste any time, start preparing right away. I've done another video on the ways that I would structure your preparation for an interview. We'll put a link to that in the description of this video. As always, if you found this video useful, please do like and subscribe. If you have any pressing questions, please leave a comment below and we'll do our best to get back to you quickly. If you or any of your friends want one-to-one support, please do use the information on screen now so that we can find a tutor suitable for you. Otherwise, good luck with your applications.